This is like, I don't care. I just want to
Decision
record
fatigue. Does that ever hit you?
all the time.
What
I
is
also
it?
have ADHD.
I can't even like.
Sometimes I can't even make a decision.
It's bad. I will get to the point where it's like, depending on the kind of day you've had, you're like making decisions all day long. And then my husband will be like, what do you want to do for dinner? I'm like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah. But
whip
then we
out
do,
the cereal.
but
And
then
I'm
we
like,
do
but I don't
care.
want cereal.
But then we do care because we're like, no, how dare would you think that like we want cereal when
I know.
I really wanted a steak?
Yeah, I know. A what?
A steak.
Oh,
What did you thought I say?
stick.
Oh, that too. I just wanted a steak today.
I should meat.
Trying to eat a raw bark.
Well,
Peel some bark off of the tree.
I wouldn't be surprised. They say that throughout the course of our day, we make like
Thousands of decisions.
thousands. And even simplifying, this is your whole concept, one's whole concept around like simplifying your wardrobe. Just wearing, feeling called merch. And we don't even have to decide what we're wearing. It's like, we talk about it merch now.
That was my favorite thing about being in Catholic school was I had a uniform every day and I didn't have to choose
That's nice.
what to wear.
Was that the only thing you liked about Catholic school? Yeah. Well, I guess it set the stage for your preferences now that we get to choose what we do and wear.
Another thing. That's pretty much it.
School. If you haven't seen our episode yet on school, check that out. Unless you're a teacher.
It's a scam.
Scam alert.
All I know is that my kids are going to be homeschooled and
that's like a full-time job in and of itself.
that's fine.
Just
know that when I have kids, you're going to be solo dolo.
I can send mine over there and you can be teaching all the whole community.
Well, at that point, your kids are going to probably be like...
They could be teachers.
Yeah. I will mentor them, and then they can teach.
True. More and more people are doing it. I think there's actually a very large growing population of homeschoolers, skrillers in the capital region. And even like thinking about, event potentials. We're going to talk a little bit about don't start messing with the mic now.
No, it was a little loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey up in there.
I think that like when you even think about event types and things, there are certain types of events that meet the criteria for homeschooling requirements.
Yeah.
And that's where it can be really fun.
Well, growing up, if you were homeschooled, like it was like there were a lot of awkward homeschoolers.
I think that's why it kind of gets a bad rap.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Because the homeschooling that I'm thinking of is also when I have a farm and, they can work with the animals.
It's a whole
and
compound.
have their own garden and
all
just
that.
learn the basics, right?
I'm excited for that.
Me too.
You're not going to be able to get me off your property.
I told you you're going to build right next to me. We're just going to have the whole compound.
I'll trade you eggs for bread.
Honestly, though, I think that's what the world is moving to.
I
think
agree.
We are moving more into the co-op space where there's not going to be as much reliance on money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be what can you actually bring to the table?
Yes.
And
what
what
can you contribute?
do at the bare bones of things? Like, can you start a fire?
Yep. Do you like to cook?
Do you like to cook? Do you like to sew? Do you know how to sew? Like all these things that are like the basic nature are going to come back online. And I can't.
Isn't it just
I can't wait for episodes on my herbalism.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
So excited for that. You're like the cappy baby. I feel like like when babies get so excited.
Yes.
That's how I feel.
I can't even stand it. I can't even stand it. I mean, when you really let yourself think about that potential.
I'm out of breath.
That was aggressive. I mean, I like it. I'm here for it, boo. We're feeling called to act wild today, y'all.
Well, I got a lot of residual energy.
I know. I was just going to say. Today was a day of energy activation. Want to tell them about it?
Yeah, I mean,
roll.
Where do we start?
Where do we start?
So obviously you guys know that our client Lakebound Bookstore is opening, and today we had an influencer event that we invited 15 of the influencers in the capital region here, and we had a brunch. It was a books and brunch. That's what we called it. But we did some networking. We put everybody together. We were able to just
magic
join and kind of.
That's magic. It's my favorite part of what we do because there's the there's obviously the creation process where we're developing the brand, we're operationalizing the brand, but brand activation is our jam.
Yeah.
When you can really see, and of course, we're really only as good as the amazing clients we attract. I mean, this has been a dream brand with Amanda and Chris from the beginning. And
Absolutely.
we've been able to create something that just flowed with a lot of ease. Obviously, still a ton of hard work. What they have put into this and what's gone into
For
making
sure.
this possible is massive. They make it look easy from the outside. And I think that's part of the magic. But when we're able to bring in, like, breathe life into what is ready to be born in the community, to me, it is like the point of impact, right? And so I
And
think
help to create it and just even be part of
just
creating it
be a
is like
part of it and watching the co-mingling of energies come together. Like the group we had today,
incredible.
everybody brings like we're changing the definition of influencer.
Yeah.
That is part of our mission here at Feeling Called is to really think about what it means to walk in a space with your full presence and your full being, and it's really more about influencing energy than it is about reach,
Yeah.
because the
Or
more
followers even, a lot of people
absolutely.
think, like, you
That's what
have
I
to
mean.
be like, you have to have
Like,
10,000 plus
no.
followers, and it's not always like that. I mean, and I didn't really understand that. Like, I've always thought of an influencer in the traditional way as well.
Mhm,
But once somebody told me that I was an influencer myself, and
mhm.
I have, like, 1,000 followers, but again, I don't post consistently, like, I don't do anything like that. This is all just a culmination of the
Yeah, it's
in-person
organic.
organic that
Mhm.
I've had.
Yep.
And they're like, "No, Jeannie, you are because you can operationalize people and connect people in a way that is
Yes.
like
It's
no
more
no
like
online presence could ever
exactly,
do."
because it really is more about in person and the
Yeah.
digital online ecosystem, whatever your channel of preference, becomes the extension of that in-person presence. I mean, when you walk in a room, people know it. You know
Right.
what I mean? And that's what we're talking about. When everybody showed up today, it's like each of them brought something with them.
Yep.
And to see all of that come together and what that created, even by way of like creativity, like upstairs at Lakebound Bookstore is a co-working lounge, and how this bookstore is really poised to change the game of what co-working even means, because there's an energy to this building. There is such intention and curation to the environment that when you walk in the space, you can't help but feel all of those creative juices start flowing. I mean,
I
it's
wanted to
really
write a book like
yeah,
today,
I'm
a
ready to
full
finish
one.
mine. We'll see.
And just going back to, like, even the online influencers, like, I feel like there are 2 different buckets. You have online influencers who really capture the online audience,
Mhm,
right? And that's not necessarily my specialty.
mhm.
I'm an in-person influencer, and
Yes,
it's like not influencing because
that's
it's
our
like,
group.
but it's being able to connect people
Yep.
in person and getting people here.
Yes.
That in and of itself is a huge skill set, and
Yeah.
that's something that I'm extremely proud of.
Yeah, you should be, because the in-person experience is what we're building,
Yep.
and everybody brings their own flavor to that. And so like you talked about earlier, even in the co-op conversation, you've got somebody in the room that's really good at making connections for people. You've got somebody in the room that's like a magnet for really impactful conversation. Like everybody can come together in a way that really emphasizes in-person connection first, and then that is what creates genuine, authentic, meaningful opportunity. And I think the more we can capture that as content that then goes into the
Right.
ethers of reach. And, that is what, when I watch content, I can tell, I'm like, oh, this just feels like they're following a blueprint
Yep.
here versus
Yep.
like, okay, that clearly that is who this person is. And I
They
am
had
here
a
for it. I
time,
am
man.
here
Like,
for it.
you're gonna see all these videos that all of our people today, like, they're having the best time because it's just organic and it's
Hmm.
natural and they feel comfortable and they've made authentic connections and they're just able to be themselves, right? And we create an environment that everybody who comes
Yeah.
is able to just authentically be themselves. And I
Hmm.
feel like that is part of that brand activation piece
Yes.
where that we're creating, and not everybody who does brand development or business strategy can also activate a space,
Exactly.
and I think that's what really makes us different.
100%. Because the saying, here we
Oh,
go,
man.
if you build it, they will come, is
Okay,
not always true. And then that's a
True.
classic,
It's
right?
very true.
And I feel like,
And you
no,
did good on that one.
you like that? I didn't butcher it at all.
It is.
So I feel like that needs to be flipped upside down.
Yeah.
No, you can build it and then it needs to be activated and it needs to be done in a way that aligns with essentially the frequency of that brand, the mission of that brand. What are you attracting? I feel like, especially in the marketing conversation, it's so played out in terms of like, okay, here's my defined audiences. And yes, that data, those strategies are important, determining where and when to place ad spend, but
Right.
really, like, these markets are so saturated, digital channels are just so saturated, it's pay to play, it's outdated, organic reach is where it's at.
And people are waking up to that. Like, they
Yes.
understand that they're being
It's
sold
ick.
all the time,
Yeah.
constantly, and
Mhm.
it's like, so if you are a business owner, or if you are in that, like, I'm trying to get these ads out, and,
Mhm.
like, you're selling something, it's really about creating and cultivating experiences and
Exactly.
getting people to buy into the full experience and what you're offering in
Yep.
that vision.
Yep.
And that's exactly what our client does, and that's exactly what
Absolutely.
that's what we see, so it's able to just flow so naturally
Yeah.
in anything that we do. The brand that you've created, the website that we've
We.
created. Well, you started the
Just,
brand, but
no, I'm sorry.
the operations that we do of just
Yep.
like, what's the client journey and what's the customer
Exactly.
experience?
Mhm.
Because we're able to talk to our clients and be like, what is that vision that you have
End to
moving
end.
forward?
Yeah.
From the
Absolutely.
moment somebody either goes on a website or they enter your doors, because we want it to be streamlined all across. We want
Absolutely.
every single touch point for that person,
Mhm.
for them to feel like they are in the
Yes.
store and
Yep.
or loved, or like whatever they
Yeah.
want that feeling
And
to
that's
be.
part of our testing phase, is really taking our customer journey experience from the perspective of the person that's coming in to engage, because this is where the attention to detail matters. And honestly, if you hone in on this as a business owner and get this right, it's
Well,
complete. You're already differentiated, because the standards out there are extremely low. And a lot of people are so fixated on the output, the byproduct, the money coming in, that they forget to really think about how to infuse their own energy, their own expectations. When you go and interact with a place, what do you want that to be? Is that even reflected in your business? Right?
yeah. And it can't be that obviously, if you're creating a business, it can't just be solely for the cause of like, I want to make money.
Exactly.
That is a byproduct of doing something that you
100%.
feel called to do,
Yep.
and that is part of your purpose here.
Yep.
And when that is not at the forefront, obviously, everybody wants
It
to make
shows.
money. We're in
Yeah.
that's the space of the world that we're in.
Yes.
But when you are focused on that, A, people can sniff that out. B, your customers and clients and the
I
overall
feel it.
experience is just not going it's going to suffer,
Yep.
because if you're just focused on getting a sale from someone, yeah, you might get that sale, but they're going to be upset because they're not actually going to have wanted to buy it.
Right.
They're going to feel pressure.
You've
They're
already
not gonna
moved on to the next
Exactly.
money-making opportunity. And I think our approach in kind of building businesses from the inside out is one that allows us to also settle in and work with the individual and really kind of tease out where they might want to step, more fully into their own power.
Yes.
And, sometimes when, especially as an entrepreneur, you can feel like you're doing that in isolation. I mean, we were talking to a few people today around, yeah, there's a lot of fear that comes up and I'm trying to find my way. And I also do need to pay my bills. And should I leave this thing over here and this my full-time job, but I really want to make this leap?
Yeah.
All this stuff starts to come into play. So as we sink deeper into creating safe environments for people to really show up as they are, that's the place we want to build a business from, because that is the frequency of authenticity. It's the frequency of truth.
Yep.
Everybody's truth is different. And by truth, I just mean the extension of you being unapologetically who you are. Now, you might not have been in environments where it felt safe to do that. And so when you are creating your own environment for that, it can still feel like your wings are clipped, right? So when we are able to, in coaching, human design, some of these tools help kind of unlock and create some of this new territory for folks.
Sure.
When we build a brand and put creative around that energy, now we're talking about magnetism for money, right?
Mhm.
And that is the frequency of money, and the energy of money is all about abundance. And so what does abundance really mean? That's thrown around all the time. And if you think about the feeling of the word abundance versus lack, you can almost start to feel the constricted and expanded state. And so if we're in our fear and we're trying to figure out how to pay the next bill and we're trying to still be present in our business and our creative process, those two almost can't coexist.
No, they
And
certainly
that's
can't.
a common thing that people deal with. I know
Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all have,
Mhm.
especially going from like we live in a society where we are taught how to be an employee.
Yep.
And that's just a reality. And so when you do make that leap, and that's why people don't necessarily always support when that happens, or
Yeah.
like,
It's a
people are
mirror.
more
Mhm.
more apt to give you a retirement party than, hey, I left my job
Yeah, we
party,
need to
right?
make
Like we
leap
don't
parties a
celebrate
thing. Well,
leap
we will
party.
celebrate the leaps.
Oh,
Mhm.
I think we're on to
I
something.
think so too.
Write
Yeah.
that down, doggy.
Yeah, doggy, doggy. And
Yeah, we gotta
creating
write that down.
community around that because when I left the corporate environment, I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, and we've talked a little bit about this on past episodes. What am I plugging into? How do I create this thing that doesn't exist? And where are the people that are trying to create this? And how do we bring that online? How do we
Yeah,
activate that? And that is really core to what we're doing is to
yeah,
build out these new ways to co-work and co-create and imprint on a space and let that become a ripple effect in the communities that we serve. I mean, that's something that it doesn't matter how much ad spend you have. If you don't have that in the core of your DNA of what you're doing, that money will never return on the investment.
no, and again, if it does, it's returning from a sale perspective and
Yep,
not always a customer experience
exactly.
or again,
The
sales
emotional
aren't easy.
imprint.
Sales are
Right,
psychological.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so, like, when you think about even brands or people that you've worked with, it often does come down to a person that you interacted with or somebody, certainly now I feel like even in the digital space, we're competing on experience and convenience. And, I feel like we've hit a maturation point on that. Like, it's to the point where it's so convenient and so easy. Like, people aren't even leaving their house, right? And I think that worked for a period, and I still love those amenities because I wanna be able to hermit
Right.
when I wanna hermit. But when we pop our head up and we're in that season of our life that's ready to really determine what new seeds we wanna plant and what do we wanna create for ourselves, where are we I know for me, I felt isolated. I felt like
Mhm.
I was doing a lot of one-on-one coaching, and I loved that work. It's still, a portion of what I do, but I was in my office in front of my computer or one-on-one
Yeah.
and I like getting in the room with people and creating magic, and that's what I felt today
Yeah.
in this space.
And I think that a lot of people don't do that necessarily, or they go and hermit. I mean, I know that's usually what I
Yeah.
tend to
Every
do.
once in a while, a Hermie's got a herm.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's part of my human design is just knowing when to come
Mhm.
out of that hermit mode and
Yep.
get back in the community. But when I do and when I'm in those spaces where like I'm connecting people who just like are authentically themselves and
Yep.
just are connecting and I get so much energy from that.
Mhm.
And I think that we go into that mode and the convenience and then experience in the hermit mode because we don't have those right environments.
Yes.
The ones that are really like cool. We have
Activated.
old networking. All right, let's go to a bar. Let's get a drink. Let's like, get some liquid courage and then let me try to sell you on a
Yeah.
meeting with me.
Yeah.
Come on, that's so old. Like we got to get out of that
It's gotta stop.
like I'm here
No
for
shade. It's time to
mocktails
reinvent it.
and like
I want a
let's do
crystal
some
grid in the
yoga.
event
Let's do
space.
crystal grid. Let's
Yes.
go on some ley lines. Let's
Let's
go
do
for a
it.
hike.
Let's
Some
infuse
yoga in
our
the
water
park.
with
Whatever.
intentions. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
really, because I mean, if I am leaving the house and leaving my family and my sacred space, I want to feel like I'm going into something that changes me in a good way, that I
Yeah.
leave that experience feeling like, hell yeah, like this I will come out for this all the time, or when I'm ready, I know it's there.
Yep.
And I think that that's a big part of what we are creating. And that can't be done without other people stepping forward
Yep.
and saying, like, yeah, I'm down for this new way. Wow, it feels like a couple people today, wow, it's just like such good energy in here. Like everybody is such a good person. And I feel like there's this the
I
fact that
listen.
that's
I got a whole
roster.
energy block that you got to go through. If you get to an event where I'm planning, it means you have passed the energy test.
Sniff test has been
I'm
passed.
not even kidding because I can listen. That is one thing.
Well, you
If
also have experience working with a lot of people out in the community. Like that's
Yeah.
such a strength for you.
And I
I
love
haven't
it.
done that as much. When you bring me into it, I love it, but my human design isn't of that.
Mhm.
So for me, it's not as natural. So you've had the opportunity to cultivate experience with individuals. You've experienced their energy. You know what they're doing. You've seen them in action. People are hiding. We can't find them.
Right.
So that's definitely a superpower for you. And you'll know exactly who to call on for what and who needs to be in the room based on what we're looking to activate
Exactly.
and create. And I
Yep.
think today was a prime example of that.
Yeah, and
Boom.
that just goes into our energy activation,
Yes.
and we're gonna start really like making that a service that we do. So if you do have a business that like you have a beautiful space or you have the business, but it just needs
And
to be
you're ready to
activated,
turn it up.
listen,
Mhm. Let's
we
breathe some life into it.
let's do it.
Let us in because we're bringing the community with us. And we're really big on also like feeling out the energy of the business. If there are blocks, if there are things that we need to look at, whether operationally, like what experience are we driving people to, maybe brand refinement. It doesn't always have
Mhm.
to be like brand new brand creation,
Right.
but maybe it's something we come in and say, oh, with just a few tweaks here, we'd be ready to open these doors
Yeah.
and really activate the space. And it's a dream to be able to do that work.
Yeah, or maybe it's as simple as, you know, there needs to be a couple signs so people know where to go. Where does traffic go? When,
Mhm.
you know, if you have an in-person place, do people know where to go as soon
Yeah.
as they enter the door?
Yeah.
Are they,
Is there
you
an
know, looking
intuitive flow?
for
Mhm.
where they're going? Do they know, okay, I've stepped in the door, I go here, or I'm
Yep.
welcomed by a receptionist, or I'm going
Yep.
whatever it is. So like it can be as simple as just opening that flow of energy and
Yeah.
giving people direction. So I
100%.
wanted to tap into that, but
Hundo.
I think we gotta go back to the conversation of exactly what happened today because I don't even think we
I know.
truly
And
understand
all the
just
things that are real, so all that and what is opening to the public on October 10th.
Yes.
So this episode releases on the 6th. So in a few days, right? This bookstore is opening to the public
Yep.
and it's coined more than a bookstore for a reason. And we're going to get to those reasons in a minute. But tell me what your favorite part of today was because there's so many.
Well, I think we gotta fully outline. So we created this whole itinerary. Again, we went and we invited some of the influencers in the capital region to this event, and we specifically kind of created an experience
Yeah.
where they felt like they could be authentically themselves, where we could also get our clients some, you know, marketing materials.
Mhm.
Again, we believe everything is a give and take. So if we're giving an experience, then we have to take something. And
Mhm.
that take for us was for them to create
It's
a
the
30-second.
exchange, even
Yeah.
exchange.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And for that was to create a 30-second video that we're doing a collaboration with Lakebound Bookstore in some capacity. So, and then
Yeah.
also giving a Google review.
Yeah.
So again, with the experience, the exchange
Business
was the
activation.
business
Yep.
activation and helping being part of this exclusive experience and making people, you know, feel special, feel wanted, feel
Yeah.
welcomed, feel creative, and knowing that this is a spot where they can come
Yes.
and just, if you want to unplug, if you want to co-work, if you want to start a podcast, like there's resources for you.
Absolutely. I
If
feel
you
like this is the rebranded affiliate network. Like that has to
Yes.
almost go away. And what's coming online is brand extensions,
Yep.
right? And also, we know that in that outreach, you're going to attract people that feels like a yes for them because they're aligning with what we're putting out there. So
Yep.
it's a yes all around. And that energy exchange feels like it's mutually beneficial in
Yep.
some way. And
Yep.
I think that's magic. That balance is hard to come by.
It is.
Yeah.
And you have a family-owned business, which is like they're creating this campus where you have Sand Lake Merchant
For
next door, you
real.
have a coffee
The
company,
compound is
gelato, you
here.
have snacks and like
That's why I said book a whole
co-working.
day here.
You literally can.
Yeah,
And
book a day.
it's literally
Mhm,
right next door. So you can literally book a co-working pass for $19.99 a day
mhm.
and get access to everything. I
Yep.
mean, obviously you'd have to buy your own gelato and stuff.
But it's worth it. Have you
But
had the
it's
gelato?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna save that for later.
Yeah.
I love me some gelato, y'all.
And the entire boutique next door, I like, literally, I
Yeah,
spend all of my money, so
absolutely, because there everything is curated with intention.
Yep.
And Amanda and Chris are masters at this. Like, Amanda has a particular gift. They both have such amazing gifts. She can like pay attention to like the space design,
Yeah.
how everything flow.
Incredible.
It's incredible. It's an absolute gift, and she pours that same gift and that intention into everything she curates for the space.
Yep.
So all the things that you're shopping for, and what I love about her model and their model now, because this is even extending now into the bookstore, is she partners with local makers. Her product in her store is also rippling back in for community support.
Mhm.
And so she's working with brands she loves and has experienced, and that word of mouth on that is wild. And so now this is becoming a hub for people to step into their dream of being a business owner that has shelf space. And it's massive. So, like the bookstore here has a local author corner. So, and not beyond that, the co working space that's in here, everything creates a combined mission that is felt when you step foot on this property.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they also have a virtual mailbox service. So if you don't
Which
have a business
we're just signed up
address,
for that.
oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure. If you don't have a physical address, like you can't use a PO box in New York State, and then
Mhm.
you also don't want your home address as public record.
Yeah.
So you can have a space where you like literally are going to come to get your mail, but then you can
Yeah.
also co-work, and she's got bundled deals and stuff like that too. So I mean,
It's
it's
amazing.
literally a community hub.
Yes.
And if you go upstairs to the co-working lounge, I don't know, it's just like it just breathes like
It's
I
a
want to write
portal.
a book.
Yeah.
Like to
And
me.
and that is so exciting because if you think about how we're reinventing even what a co-working pass means, I
Yeah.
want people to think differently about what co-working means.
Yep.
Because this is a sacred space, a full day just for you. And
Yep.
part of that might be plugging in and working on foundational needs for your business. Part of that day might mean going and picking out a new book just for you and sitting up there and just having some quiet time to read. It could mean meeting somebody here to catch up. Like that is your
I mean, a book
sacred
club.
space.
It can mean
Yes.
grabbing some coffee. It can mean grabbing gelato. It can mean going, starting your day here, going for a break and going to get some lunch next door and going to the
Absolutely.
boutique
Yeah,
and
Town
picking
Tavern's
up
right
like
next door too. I mean, there
there's
is like
yeah.
all you need. It's like this contained ecosystem over here. And that's what I love about, like we talked a little bit about like experiencing other co-working places in the region. And again, everybody's doing what's in the model, right? And so when you create a new blueprint, you try to create a new way, there's testing involved. You
Yep.
want to see what the audience needs. So that's why on October 10th, it's really a soft opening, getting people in here, see the space, experience it. Your first co working pass is free.
Mhm.
So you can experience that. You can book your day. You can be intentional about curating your time because I think that's the really cool thing about the imprint and the intention. That's contagious because
Yep.
now I'm even thinking about when we book our day here. I'm like, okay, I want to
Yeah,
like
what
now
can I
I'm
do?
like
Yeah, all
zoning in
these
my
things.
mind on all of these things. And so between October 10th and then early November, when the holiday market happens, which is going to be like the larger grand opening, they're going to be releasing book lovers box subscriptions, curated product each month for people. Like there's so many things coming.
Clubs.
Book clubs.
Yeah,
But
we were
even
even
like the
just talking
writers events, bringing in people that want to launch their books. You can do private events here. You can book the
book
upstairs.
signings, book
So
experiences.
much potential. I can't wait.
Yeah, so if you guys are not following Lakebound Bookstore, I'm gonna
Got
need you
to.
to do that right now.
Absolutely. Like
Right now.
yesterday.
Yeah, literally. I mean, it really is. And then, so let's talk about when this launches. It's going to be the 6th. So we're launching the website on the
Yep.
7th.
7th.
So
Yep.
lakeboundbookstore.com
That's
is going to
right.
be available. That's where you can get your free co-working pass.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 10 per day. So if you are planning on doing that, make sure that you are on that site.
Yep.
Getting
Subscribe for emails. We're going to do exclusive launches to our email
Yep.
subscribers and our email subscribers. This is how tightly we are wrapped in with our clients, right? Because it really is like we've wrapped our arms
It's a
around
piece of
this.
us,
It
though.
totally is.
I mean,
it's so cool.
You think we've had a piece of this opening,
Yeah.
and it's been such a pleasure to work with Amanda and
Such
Chris
good
and their
people.
family. They're just good people, and also like one of the things that I really respect about Amanda and
Mhm.
Chris is that they let us do our thing. Like we
Yes.
see their vision, and they're like, "We trust you,
Yep.
ladies.
Tell us what you need.
Tell us what you need, how we can do whatever.
They stay in their lane of genius. We're working in our zone of genius.
And it's just a really cool, compatible, like this living, breathing ecosystem.
100%.
And we've had things where life has happened, right, on both ends.
Yep.
Where you had your whole eye thing happen. I had my grandma pass away, you know, and all the stuff with my nephew and and all those things. And then same thing, vice versa. They've had things come up. But at the center of all this is like, we understand at the end of the day, we're all humans.
Yes.
We give each other grace. Mm-hmm. We respect, but we know that we're going to show it for each other when it matters and when it counts. Yeah. And I think that is really the difference between 100%. How we operate. Yeah. And why we're so good at what we do.
Yeah. And aligning on those values. I mean, this is why even like in the business space, like some clients are a no. Like, what is your yes client? What do you Yeah. Like you're going to experience that. And we always like to look at a level of day-to-day values, like at that level of humanity, how you're moving and grooving, how you treat people when shit hits the fan, when stuff gets stressful, when you are about to birth the baby and the brand's about to launch and we're all rolling up the sleeves. Can we stay in our values? And I think that that's a yes across the board. And sometimes there's trial and error involved because some of that doesn't come out in the wash until you're at that point if you don't know the person, if it's a newer client. But if you really tune in and start to kind of create that system within yourself of what a yes or no feels like, we don't always have to assign value to if something feels off or something feels like a no. It's just a pass. Maybe it comes back around, maybe it doesn't. But for every no, there's usually like 5 hell yeses waiting around the corner.
Yeah. And even just to go a little bit farther into that, even since we've started working together, we even cycle sync, like knowing when I'm NEAG, like she knows that.
You gotta block out the calendar. Yeah, you stay right over there, boo. And don't take any community meetings. Nope, we're getting a little spicy. Make sure. Did you eat your lunch?
I know. But
get outside.
Exactly.
We have to support each other in our humanity. Like, come on, we're human. And then real.
And then same thing. Like if we're feeling down, or we're feeling fat, or we're feeling not good enough, or we're feeling whatever. Like knowing when those kind of thoughts start to creep in, especially around like the cycles.
We gotta pull each other out.
Yeah.
Yep. And you find the right team and the right people. That just is inherently there. You don't have to like work for it or ask for it or wonder why it's not happening. And sometimes you have to experience a lot of that before you're able to really know when support shows up. Yep. And I think that that's been very eye-opening for me, especially over the past year. I've been through a lot on the business side that didn't work out, and there was a lot of true colors I was shown that really created a lot of pain for me. And I had those moments where I'm like, what did I do to deserve this? Why is this showing up right now? I understand it now, but at the time, especially as a new business owner, I was like, shit, is this what it's like out here? Like, is this why they say don't work with other people? Like, I want to work with other people.
Well, that's literally why we were like, yeah, I'll never go into business.
And we're like, so
you want to go into business tomorrow?
Feeling called to start this thing. You ain't kidding. We're going to the bookstore. But there can be a lot of pain.
You know, it's a yes.
It is. Absolutely.
I fully agree with you because I've had business partners before, and it's just we haven't operated from. And I think the difference between us and the other people that we've been working with is our values align. And at the end of the day, we know that we are human. Yep. That our experiences that have happened through life are a huge part of who we are today. And we value that. And we also give each other grace because we know you might not be coming at me or feeling, any sort of way because it's me. It could be something that's been traumatized you in the past.
Yep,
and
it's a trigger.
Need to be here to understand, it's like
we got to communicate
for each other.
And I think that's beautiful because I think sometimes what I have found particularly in
I could cry.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
A happy tear.
I think when it comes to the topic of values, it's really about consistency. Yeah. If it's like shapeshifters, if you're swapping values and you say you're this way and then you're really this way, and sometimes like, for one of these, situations I went through, I didn't really see who somebody was until it came time to do business together.
Damn, now it's passionate as.
And I was like, oh, I'm not going to unload all the tea's still brewing. And I'm not here to do that. I think that I learned a lot about the patterns within myself through this experience
Yes.
and where I was trying to fill in all these gaps by giving more of myself when the answer was to actually give less and to move on. So I thank and have gratitude for the experience at that level because I'm in that position now to understand what I didn't want to carry with me by way of patterns into this next chapter.
Yeah.
Sometimes it shit has to sting a bit before you're like, oh man, I think this is showing up for me in a few ways. Why am I willing to deplete myself to the point of nothing to pick up the slack for everybody else that's out here making it dramatic and it doesn't need to be? Like,
Yeah, that's not
no,
true friendship. That's not true
not at
partnership.
all.
And
Not
if
at
the
all.
person doesn't fill your cup, and no matter what relationship it is, whether it's a friend, whether it's a partner, whether it's a business partner, whatever,
Nah,
it's just not. There's
it's
either
not it.
something that needs to fix it, or it's just not.
Yep.
It can't be.
Yep. So figuring out in whatever relationship this looks like, what your communication style is through conflict. You know, like what is it when there's an unmet need, when there's something, you know, you and I have talked about this before and understanding each other's process. Like sometimes something will hit me and I'm like, I don't really know what this is bringing up for me. There's something here. I need to give it a few days to percolate. You're like, no, we need to talk about this now. And
I've been better though.
You've been great.
And that's been part of the
100%.
That's been part of my lesson.
This is the
like
exchange
giving
of it.
space.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to rush to something and try to create meaning that isn't there yet. This feels layered for me. And this requires knowing ourselves, right? And really knowing when something might be coming up that is harder to name. It feels familiar yet kind of old, and maybe there's this new piece to it. And so sifting through it to the point where, out of respect for ourselves, but also for each other, of being able to come back to the table and say, okay, I've done my sorting. There's a couple things here I want to talk about, but now we're able to talk about it from the place of growth, from the place of commitment to the relationship, and really wanting to be able to work through that. And for me, like, even receiving feedback in all directions is paramount. Like, don't surround yourself with yes people.
Don't.
Like, we need to be, I heard someone say once that we're all like pieces of coal bumping up against each other to make diamonds. And that really stuck with me.
Wait, does coal make diamonds?
Yes.
No shit.
For real.
You're fucking lying.
I'm not fucking lying. Coal pressurized makes diamonds.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So think about the state of that evolution of coal. And so that constriction and that pressure creates the diamond. And so when someone said that to me, I'm like, oh, okay. So there's a process here where we're all, and maybe some of those bumps are hard, man. Like you're getting, sometimes you got to get slammed in order for part of that diamond to start to emerge. And I think that that is like the mystery. To me, that is deeply woven into like the tapestry of life and the mystery of like why we're here and what our soul's journey is.
Don't even get me started into thinking about everything. Is water wet?
What is water?
How did we get
here? You know, someone just came up with that name, right? It's just a word. Right? It's like, we talked about this when you like look at a word for too long and then your whole brain's like right. And you're like, what word is, wait a second. Dun, dun, dun. I have these moments. This has happened to me twice. And like, it's interesting. Like, I feel like the more my life comes into alignment and the more that I'm like tuned in to receive, I have these moments. This has happened twice. I hope it's not perimenopause or needing to get it checked out by a doctor. But I had these moments where it was like my awareness, my brain didn't associate like familiarity with my environment. I had this moment where it was as if I was dropped in from another planet, and this is trippy. And I was like, speaking my language. I was like, whoa, where am I? It's a split. It's like a glitch in the Matrix. It was a fucking glitch in the Matrix. And I actually told Jamie, my husband, I was like, honey, does that happen to you? Is this like what happens when you get in your 40s? Like, I mean, like one time I was at an intersection in my car. I'm like, wait a minute. And I was like, this is not the place where we want this to happen. This is not the place. Not the place. But there is is a phenomenon there that is related to how I feel when I see a word and I start questioning its, like, there's more than just a word form.
Is it like a deja vu that you're in?
It's a similar feeling. Very similar feeling. Yeah.
Huh.
So it's a glitch. I'm convinced. My higher self's like, hold on, bitch, we're going for a ride.
Glitchy. You're like You're like,
my bot is acting up.
She's got some water on her.
My bot.
Some water in the electrodes.
I'm cut off.
I do. The other day we were working on the website. I'm like, is this how the is spelled?
Like, I think we need to step away. Go.
I said, all right, I need some fucking water and I need a walk and some sun.
Is that how this word is spelled? And it's like, should or said. And you're like, yeah, that's how it's spelled. But
you look at it too long.
You look at it too long. And I see shape. I see shape more than I see meaning. Like that. Maybe that's the mark of an artistic brain too. Like I see shape and letter form and typography more than I see the combined associated meaning that we've cast onto it as humans on this planet. It's trippy.
You sure it's not just us? Like we're not just the
No, I'm sure people are out there. They're hiding.
What did Jamie say about it when you told him?
He was basically like, yeah, welcome to your 40s.
Okay. All right. So
he's more like, he's like, I will lose a word completely and not know how to retrieve it. He's like, it's right on the tip of my brain.
Gone. It's right
gone.
Over there. I'm trying to pick it out.
I got to go into the archives. We're going in.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you know when you feel it. Like it didn't feel like, a medical issue. It felt like a deja vu.
Yeah.
It felt like this bird's eye view almost of my life. And to me, like that's the whole meaning of deja vu, like that it's talked about in terms of if you experience deja vu, it's like you're right where you're meant to be. And that's how I've heard it's described. It's like, oh nope, it's almost like a checkpoint. Like you've hit the checkpoint.
So then I should be experiencing deja vu.
Give it time. Now that we talked about this, you're going to be like, ah, shit, it's happening in the parking lot. I've been here before. Yeah, we were here yesterday, bitch.
How do I spell Lauren's name?
Lauren, capital R. That's next week.
Oh, man, that's funny.
Yeah, so anyway, there's a nice winding path, little inside look into our brainscape.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. All that.
That is what we do.
That is what we do. Mm-hmm. And what a blessing.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Blessing.
I wouldn't have it any other way to understand, and this is what happens at first, right? When you realize that you're living in the Matrix. If you go through and
we're back.
You go through this part of like, everything, and then you get so like depressed.
Knocked off your rocker. You don't know shit.
And then all of a sudden you just have, you start seeing words and
word forms.
And then hearing, a sound, and you're like, I've been here. And then you can't drink tap water anymore because you realize it's not really structured water. It's actually dead water. Yeah. And then you buy an $8,000 water machine. And
8,000, huh?
No.
The truth is coming out.
It was an 8,000.
I round up.
Uh-huh. No, it's...
you're homeschooling and living off the land.
It's really hard not to lose your shit once you know this stuff. But
yeah. Well, I think awareness wakes you up. Like there's this wake up call. And I think that is tied to the larger conversation around awakening is the stuff you can't unsee. And then it becomes, okay, now that I know that, what do I want to do with that information?
Exactly.
And
it takes a while to get there.
It does. It does. And also like some of that means like, don't be hard on yourself if you decide to keep engaging in something.
Or have a Diet Coke. That's what I'm saying. Like
You're not taking it.
There is such a balance that, but that's what happens. Like when you find out about a lot of this stuff, I know for me and a lot of people who I've talked to who are now aware and woken up, whatever, is like we go so hard with like.
I went vegan at one point.
I know, me too. That worked out for
6 months. I did it.
6 months?
I did. And then I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not getting any of my nutritional needs met.
Well, it's really hard
because I didn't do like, I wasn't a proper vegan. Like I didn't actually like figure out what I needed to supplement with. Or,
yeah. Well, in general, it's really hard with
vegan mac and cheese. I mean, this is vegan. That's an Oreo. It's still vegan.
She ain't lying.
I mean, hello.
You ain't lying. But it's really hard with the lack of nutritional value in the food and how our food industry is just like treated until it gets to our table. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to go down that rabbit hole. I've already been there and I've come to terms with it, and I can only do what I can
Yeah.
do, and that's basically how we're gonna change the world. It's like everybody is gonna
One
do
individual
what
at a time.
they need to do in order
Yeah.
to, make their lives better.
And find your people, create community around it.
And find
Build a
balance. Again,
compound.
that's not like saying that you have to give away everything that's in the matrix. Like sometimes we like,
Yeah, like
our
we are
drinks,
in
our
the
energy
matrix.
drinks, our Diet Coke, our chips, or whatever. Like still enjoy those things. I
Yeah,
think that that's what my biggest issue was. Like once I figured out everything,
for
it's like
sure.
I got rid
And
of
these
everything.
products
And
are created to be highly addictive.
yeah.
So there's also this dependency model, which I think is like the overarching topic to all of this, back to like the homeschooling
Yeah.
conversation, or there's like a default built into the matrix that becomes what feels like the only viable option
Yeah.
because it's everywhere. And so now when you're reliant on that food source or system, or maybe it's affordable, or it's accessible. I mean, thank goodness, right? We even have that problem.
Yeah.
But I think part of that comes down to the vicious cycle of addiction. And I mean, even thinking about how, okay, we're going to dip a toe in this rabbit hole for a minute. The processed food industry, right? Back when it was studied that cigarettes actually cause cancer and were terrible for you, they moved the scientists that created cigarettes over to the food industry. And they became the lab technicians, whipping up a batch of Doritos, figuring out how to make it so that
Yep.
when you're mindless, because there's money to be made in mindlessness,
Yeah.
where you are just consuming, right? They say if you're consuming all the time, you're not creating. So I think about that a lot, of like, where is it like a mindless thing? And our brains are hijacked.
Yeah.
They're hijacked from an attention span perspective, from the constant inundation of content. And now, you might be doom scrolling, plowing through a bag of something that makes you feel like another bag of something the next day.
Yeah.
Like,
And
whoa.
And that's why a lot of people who quit cigarettes and things like that, like it's the motion.
Yes.
It's the,
The
there's more than
experience.
just the
There's nostalgia.
addictive factors
Mhm.
inside the actual food and cigarettes. It's like, okay, well, what is that doing to your neural pathways? What is that doing to the chemistry in your body? Like there is at a microscopic level, they know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And they're really freaking good
Like
at
the
it.
human species now is part microplastic. It's in our brains now. And when I think about like the long-term evolution of the species,
We're going to turn into plastic water bottles.
Trippy. Right?
We're going to have a plastic
Pick
water.
me up and pour me out.
I'll be gone by then. And I ain't coming back to
We'll
Earth.
be guiding from the other realms by then. But okay, so we say all of that to say that when we bring like consciousness, awareness, and intention into our day-to-day decision making, and really be intentional about coming off of autopilot, which sometimes takes like, wait a second, there are other ways. I've just been in this way for so long that neural pathway has been created. And when you start to change that lane, it feels like work, and it is in some level. But that's part of figuring out what resonates with you. What resonates with you, what you're passionate about, might not be what, works for the person next to you. And that's cool. Yep. But I think this is where building community with different ways of doing things, and even the awareness, and even like we were talking today with Nikki about like the future of events that we're creating, and being able to like create a crystal grid in the building, activate the space beforehand. Like I remember early on,
hold your hats, folks.
Even with this building before, I mean, I worked with Amanda years ago. We've been working together in some capacity for years. And before they even knew what they wanted this building to be, I came in and did an energy clearing on it. And at that time, it was like stripped down to the studs. It looked like a warehouse, right? So creating the crystal grid, doing a cleansing of the energy, imprinting, almost like really getting it back to this rich blank canvas that can be created upon, so that there isn't an imprint of the prior intention of what this building was supposed to be. So when we talk about like events and experiences, it's like all deeply rooted in these things. Yeah. My fave.
Yeah, I mean, any networking event that you guys think of, like, you just think of what happens at the networking event, whether it's like,
I can't control my face.
I know. I'm not going to mention any names, but like local newspaper events.
Bring us in. Let us overhaul that shit.
All of those networking events that you traditionally think of, and that it's like, You go to some bar or some place
I
that
know.
serves alcohol, you get a little liquid courage, and then you start literally trying to
Yep.
do your pitch and sell somebody or get
Yep.
a meeting on a
Now
book.
everyone's getting a little sloppy jalopy. And when you're the sober person in the room,
Oh, it sucks.
it sucks. And so that's why things like the Undrunk Club and other things that are popping up in the region are
Yeah.
so cool, because you know what that means is somebody stepped forward and said, you know what? I'm not just going to complain about the fact that this doesn't work. I'm going to create a new way, and I'm going to build community around it.
Yep.
And that is the essence of feeling called, is then that urge to create that thing that you wished existed comes online. There are partners, people, and community ready to help actualize that dream.
Yep.
And that's what we do.
And that's exactly what we do. And I saw yesterday, actually, like I was this is gonna go into my quote.
Do it.
I don't know exactly.
So you've been
what it
hanging out
said.
with me long enough.
I know.
I
But-
heard once from his person.
I
What are
saw it
people?
yesterday. What or what? I don't know. But I saw yesterday, like if you're not doing whatever it is. I was listening to. Do you know the singer Thames?
Mhm.
So her story, and kind of like she just figured a way of how to make it, but also like you listen to her song, you listen to her voice, and you're transported.
Yeah.
And she just like
There's a resonance
so you
there.
think of if she never went for her dream,
Yeah.
she
That
wouldn't be here.
gift
for
would be
us.
laying dormant.
And that's the
We're
same,
bringing people out of dormancy, y'all.
That's the same type of energy that I want you guys to think of. If you have something that you truly enjoy, if you don't do it, you are literally holding the rest of
Yes.
the world out from your gift.
Yes.
And that is like,
Yes, you
it's
are
not cool.
here
It's
for
not
that.
cool
You are
at all.
here for it. And you will attract the people. I think there's so much fear of rejection and conditioning at play that thing, that nugget of gold can stay dormant for your entire life. And often it's like redefining, what does retirement mean? You have people that say, oh, I'm going to live my dream in retirement. And then they get to retirement and they're maybe, not able-bodied, or they can't, all that stuff that they wanted to do, they're trying to fit in before they go.
Yeah.
And it's backwards. And I get why it's backward, because it's conditioned in, it's like intrinsically there. And sometimes it takes kind of going through tough stuff to realize like, whoa, I've got this one life.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try.
Yep.
I'm going to try.
I mean, that's what we did last year. Again, trying to just
Tried.
get out of the environment. We went there. We did it. We saw it. And, now we know what we want to do. We want to go back and forth. But we know that
That's
this is
it.
our home here.
Yes.
And we want to go back and forth to Florida and,
Yep.
buy properties in other states. And it doesn't have to wait until we retire. And we put
try
ourselves
on
in
a couple
position.
pairs of shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what fits.
Speaking of, I gotta go. I gotta
Shoes your food, Sasha.
shoot your food to fish with.
I gotta get some shoes and some food.
Yeah, yeah. But we're not waiting. Like we know that we wanted to do this, and we're just refusing to wait until we are 65. And
then when you settle into it, that's when the vision of this next thing that you're meant to build and create starts to come online.
Sure does.
And starts to call you towards it, because it's already yours.
Yep.
And I think true gifts and your true purpose, it's already yours. It's like inherently your birthright. And we're moving out all the stuff that thinks that is in the way, that you don't even know is in the way, that's keeping you from activating that space within yourself in order to ripple out and change your pocket of the world.
And a
Because
lot of it's just the mental. The mental chatter is the hardest to get over.
Yep.
And just believing in yourself and saying that I can do this
Yeah.
if this is what I want. And I think that the way that we get around that is really clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Clarifying what it is that you want,
Yep.
where you want to be, what you want your life to look like. Because it wasn't until I realized that I was like, this isn't, like, I'm clear about this, and this isn't giving me that lifestyle.
You're right. And when that clarity comes in, is an opportunity to say, what do I need? What does support looks like? Who do I want to call into my life? Who am I surrounding myself with? What are the environments I'm putting myself in? It's just an opportunity to say, okay, I think I want to create this activated, authentic community where I feel held as much as I'm able to help support other people.
Yep.
And when I stumbled into that thought, I was like, here it is.
It's a lot easier.
Gina's calling. Legit.
From Florida,
it was like
mind you.
3 days earlier where I sometimes do a signal to the universe, I call it. I'm like, all right, I'm signaling the universe here. I am open to receive true friendship a connection of values and real support. And I am open to attracting that fully. And when you like proclaim, you have to make a proclamation and you have to believe it in your being for the universe to sync up to that frequency and say, I've been waiting for your call. Bring her in.
And I came.
You did.
Right in.
You did.
Even though I was in another state.
Yep.
And then I came back.
Yeah. Now you hooked.
So, that's
so
how that went.
There's so much richness to the experience, to what we are, actively working on for growth as individuals, how that's permeating into our offerings to help support other people, because there's deep experience there. And to think about even what we're doing, and if like this was available to me when I first hit the scene as an entrepreneur, I mean, hello. So that's what it means to create the thing you wish existed. It's like, oh, wow, like it's possible.
That's been my entire goal since leaving the police department and creating my own business, has been create the things that you wanted and needed as you were going through each stage of your life.
Absolutely.
Whether it was in school, whether it was in business, whether it was in just life, whether it was as a woman, whether it was like whatever it was.
Yep.
So,
and what you go through and what you experience could be tied to what you're meant to help other people do.
sure.
Sometimes you got to go through it to
Sure is.
learn that it's actually tied to your purpose.
Sure is. All right, let's
Okay.
delve into a little bit
doing?
more about the grand opening or the soft
Yes.
opening. Okay, so we have a private press conference on the 9th, and then the 10th is going to be the official opening day. And then it starts at 9. You can come anytime from 9 to 7.
Yep.
If you want a co-working pass, I would recommend very highly to get it on the 7th, 8th, or 9th leading up to it, because I'm guaranteeing there's not going to be any co-working passes.
Those are limited time.
It's only until
it while you
November
can.
30th that they're doing the free co-working deal, so that you can come in, experience the space, grab a friend, come do some co-working, grab a coworker.
Yep.
Instead of going to Starbucks one day, why don't you just try to
Get
take
a
a little
book,
trip.
disappear for a day. Go
Get
off
some
grid.
life content.
Go off grid. Oh yeah, I mean this place is a content dream.
It is.
I mean it really is. And the cool thing about this, like we said earlier, make sure you're subscribed to the email list, because there's going to be a rollout of additional programs and things that we're going to give kind of exclusive insights into before things launch. So make sure you're tuned into that. And when you're entering the space and when you're thinking about planning your day here, think differently about what you want to infuse into your day, because there's a little something for everybody here.
Yeah.
And I think that same intention that Chris and Amanda pour into curating product and experience, we can carry that with us.
Absolutely.
As we enter this. Like, this is the safe place to have some fun and to play around with that.
Yeah. And if you do have children, or if you do homeschool, there's a whole kids section here at the bookstore as well. So you can come, you can grab a coffee, you can go in the book section. They have some little tables, some little games, a nice little couch in there.
Yeah.
The space is just beautiful, and like I'm obsessed with the kids' room, but
right.
it's like just
if nothing else, just come see this place. It's stunning.
Experience.
Be a part of it.
And have a nice little day with your family. There's just so much to do.
So we'll see you on the 10th. We're gonna be here. I mean, are you coming later in the day?
I'll be here.
You'll be here. Oh yeah, okay. I'm going to Gabe's field trip, and then I'm bringing him with me. So we're going to be official testers.
What time are you?
I have to meet them over there at 9:30. We're going to an orchard, and then I get to take him home early.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to bring him over here. He'll get a first look at the
Gotcha.
kids section, and of course, we have to go get gelato.
Yeah.
Because
what time are you going to be done with your field trip? Because I think
I don't know.
I'm going to plan a full co-working day here.
Are you?
Yeah,
Excellent.
I'm gonna test to get some content.
Bring your book. You can write.
I think I'm gonna pick a new one.
Good.
I think I'm gonna get a new one.
That's
Again, follow Lakebound Bookstore on everywhere. Lakeboundbookstore.com to subscribe to their email newsletter, and we'll be in touch soon.
That's right.
Love you guys.
Bye.